pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, you are so good, Lord. We are so thankful for you and all that you are and all that you provide to this wonderful community, Father. Thank you for the privilege that you have bestowed upon my colleagues, members of the council, and the many unnamed volunteers who continue to provide great service to our community, Lord. I pray that your Spirit fill this room, and that as we make decisions this evening, we don't lean on our own understanding, God, but we lean on you, Lord. It's in your Son Jesus' perfect name that I pray. Amen. Amen.
Okay, moving along here to approving the agenda. I'd like to add a couple of executive sessions. An executive session at I2 on the agenda as it relates to the monument signing condemnation, and then an executive session under L1 to the agenda. So I'll make a motion to do that, if I can get a second.
Second.
I made the motion. Brent second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. We will move on here. We've approved the agenda. Citizen comments at this point. This is 3 minutes if everyone wants to come up and speak and address the council. I ask you to sign in. It's not debate time, but we'll entertain questions at any other time if you'd like to schedule an appointment. So I will open citizen comments, and if there's anyone who would like to come forward, please do so. Just checking.
Yeah, I was just seeing if,
Okay.
it's hard when it's coming up.
If there are none, then we'll go ahead and close citizen comments and move on to item E. This time I'd like to give the council a chance to declare any conflicts or communication that they might have had in the last couple weeks that might influence their ability to consider our agenda items impartially. No? Okay, we're good on that. We do not have any appointments, proclamations or recognitions or nominations tonight. Item G, consent agenda. Entertain a motion to approve consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Brent. Moving second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving along. Item H. New business. Item I. Brian.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Whoa!
Wow.
We sped right through that agenda.
That was yours. All right.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wow.
That was good.
That was good. This first item for consideration this evening is a follow-up. This is the next step in the process of revamping and looking at our HR and organizational structure. So as you'll recall, during the April 7th City Council meeting, Council approved an RFP for us to publish to work with and hire a company that will look at revamping our city organization, namely looking at updating the city's organizational chart, job descriptions, the onboarding process for new employees, and the current performance evaluation system. There we go. I got it. We're good. So again, the RFP was approved and it was published on April 8th, and proposals were due to us by April 30th. So with that being the case, we did receive 3 proposals from firms, 1 local and then 2 out of state. And so these are the totals here. This is the total project cost. Again, taking into consideration the RFP, what was asked of each of the applicants in submitting their proposals. So you'll see AGH, Gallagher Benefits Services, and McGrath Human Resources Group with their totals provided. Staff reviewed, and again, these were the evaluation criteria, so experience and qualifications, approving to the scope of work, cost effectiveness, and then references and past performance. With this being the case, city staff is recommending that council approve the proposal by McGrath Human Resources Group. They are out of Tennessee. This will include 3 site visits to the city as well as virtual communications as well, and meeting all of the requirements of the project as previously described. They have extensive work in working with local units of government, not only in Kansas but in the region and throughout the country, and did follow with a few other interview questions with them and the other applicants, and staff feels that they will do an exceptional job in helping to look at our organization structure and make sure that we are being effective and efficient with taxpayer dollars. So again, this is being paid for out of the general fund discretionary capital outlay, that line item. The contract, once council approves the firm, contract will be reviewed by legal counsel prior to its execution. Our goal would be that we kick this off later in the month of May, and their proposed timeline is that we'll finish before the end of the year. So we will do our best to keep the firm to that process so that we, by the end of 2025, have an updated organization chart, have new job descriptions, or updated job descriptions, I should say, onboarding updated, as well as performance evaluation measures. So again, we are recommending approval of the McGrath Human Resources Group. I will note that in the agenda packet, their proposal page was included. I do have the full proposals if you'd like to look at them. But again, we are recommending this one over the other 2, and more than happy to stand for any questions council may have at this time.
Any questions?
What was the difference between, will you let everybody know what the difference between Allen?
Yeah, we go back to that slide.
And
That's fine. Yeah, so the totals here, AGH was $24,150, Gallagher was $86,450, but I will note that that does not take into consideration travel expenses. And the McGrath Human Resources Group, $36,937. That does include travel not to exceed, as will be written into the contract, of $5,000. So the total between the low bid and our recommendation is approximately just over $12,000. But again, we feel that McGrath did present a better proposal than AGH, even though they are local. We feel that because of their experience and their proposal, which does include an extensive audit of our existing HR department, that would be an added benefit to going through this project and going with McGrath's proposal.
So you're dealing with someone that specializes in human resource management as
Correct.
opposed to a county firm that does multiple things.
And I will let you know, AGH does have an HR branch division, but that is not the only thing. Yes, that is correct. That's not the only thing they do.
So McGrath is more specialized in municipal HR. When we were looking at the difference between the low bid and theirs, we were trying to qualify whether that $12,000 difference would really bring us the value for that full scope HR audit.
so that 5,000 is in the 36,000?
Correct. Yes, that 5,000 is part of the 36,937.
And is this an ongoing, or is this just a one-time?
This is a one-time project. Now, I will tell you that there are other communities that do this on a 5 to 10 year basis, especially when it comes to more looking at the merit system that they are using. I will tell you, and as I shared during my presentation last time I was up here, it's been multiple years since any of this has been looked at for our city, for the city of Goddard. So this is something that, yes, it's a one-time project and it's going to get us to where we need to be now, but that's not to say that 5 or 10 years down the road we might go through this process again. I will tell you that each of the companies did submit references. I did call those references, and everyone had glowing things to say about McGrath and the other firms as well. But a lot of cities, especially larger organizations, do go through this process, especially as they are growing, to make sure that they are remaining current on how most efficiently they can run the organization.
Okay.
Entertain a motion here to approve the recommendation.
I make a motion to approve the recommendation for McGrath Human Resources Group.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to the next slide.
Go ahead and go one more
One
forward.
more. Would you like to make that motion?
I make a motion to move to enter executive session for consultation with the city attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship per KSA 75-4319B6 to have preliminary discussions relating to the acquisition of real property, including the city administrator and city attorney, with the regular meeting reopening at 7:30.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. See you all back at 7:30. Being here, I'd just like the record to show that Councilman Collins entered executive session at 7:23 and Councilman Fish arrived at 7:25, so they were part of the discussion at that point. Going forward, we'll go ahead and proceed then with item I2.
Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council, this is a follow-up to the conversation we had at our last meeting with regard to the use of eminent domain to acquire a permanent easement at 167th and Maple for purposes of city entrance signage. At the last meeting, we took the very first step, which was enacting a resolution of intent. That was published in the newspaper last week. The next step is to enact an actual ordinance moving forward, directing me to move forward with the Eminent Domain Act, which is the filing of the petition in the district court and moving the process forward. I think we went over all of this history last week, so it should be still very fresh in your minds. Again, what we're looking to acquire, we're not looking to acquire fee simple title to the property. What we're looking for is a permanent easement, something that allows us to utilize the property for purposes of establishing and maintaining a city entrance sign there on the southwest corner of the intersection. As far as financial considerations, obviously there will be a cost associated with this. The way that the eminent domain process works, the court will make a determination finding that we have the right to exercise eminent domain. At that point, the court will appoint 3 disinterested appraisers to sit as a panel, hear presentations from the property owner, from the city, and they will ultimately render a decision establishing the just compensation that the city's got to pay to the property owner in order to acquire that easement. So there will be cost associated with that. I prepared the ordinance. If it is enacted, it will be published, and that will satisfy the second step of the process. So it's recommended that the city council waive the reading of the ordinance by voice vote, and then approve the ordinance to proceed with condemnation via voice and roll call.
I'll make a motion that we waive the reading of the ordinance.
Second. We have a motion by Brent, Aubrey second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Waive the reading of the ordinance. And we need a motion to approve the,
Make a motion to approve the ordinance to proceed with condemnation.
Brent's made a motion. Do we have a second? We don't, yeah, we need to have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Aubrey seconds. All those in favor do the roll call.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Councilmember Fish,
Yes.
Mayor Lee,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairley,
Yes.
Councilmember Collins,
Yes.
ordinance 996.
996. Thank you.
Good evening again. I am going to be Micah's voice this evening
Oh, boy.
for these next 2 items. He's a bit under the weather. He is here and more than happy to answer any questions that members of the council may have. But this is a site plan review modification. So, as you are probably aware, periodically, especially with commercial development, we are required to go through the site plan review process where we're looking at the footprint of the building and taking into consideration things such as connections to publicly dedicated streets, landscaping in some cases, potential light pollution or light spillage onto other private property, parking lot requirements, etc. So periodically we look at how we can revise our existing ordinances and regulations to make sure that we're being both cognizant of our residents and also business friendly at the same time. And so Planning Commission has taken a look at making some modifications to the site plan requirements that we have here in the city of Goddard. and are making those proposed recommendations before you this evening. So at the bottom you'll see a few of those changes that have been made. So removing the addition requirements of landscaping and screening without removing the ability for the planning commission to ask to see landscaping or screening if they want to add those provisions. Removed leftover language as it pertains to Channel 7 News, and removed leftover language as it pertains to the Design Review Committee. Again, site plans are reviewed by city staff as well as the Planning Commission for approval, and this is part of the process of, again, new construction, predominantly industrial and commercial development, to where the Planning Commission and city staff are reviewing the outside, looking at the overall site itself, and then the building itself is reviewed by MABCD or Sedgwick County to make sure that they adhere to the existing building codes and regulations of construction. So again, this is just going over more a few other items that have been removed. These are shown in red with a line through them. Some other areas of removal. And again, this is showing that one of the things we are keeping in here is the lighting requirement. Again, making sure that we're not having spillage over onto other properties. No financial considerations regarding this item. It is approved form by council. The recommendation is waiving of the reading of the ordinance and then changing the subdivision regulations as it pertains to Article 11 for site planning requirements. I'll try to answer any questions, and if I can't, have Micah come up.
The planning commission, did they review these?
Yes, yeah. So the planning committee, yes. So Micah and myself took a look at these, made some proposed modifications. It went before the planning commission. Planning commission did approve it, and so now final approval is to adopt via ordinance these changes to the site plan review requirements.
You had a question? Did we do that?
No, you asked the same question. That was all of the no's.
Any other questions? You guys do?
We're good. Make a motion to waive the reading of the ordinance.
Keats made a motion to waive the reading of the ordinance.
Second.
Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the changes to the subdivision regulations as it pertains to Article 11.
Keats made a motion to approve the Article 11 changes. Have a second?
Second.
Krista seconds. Roll call.
Councilmember Hull,
Yes.
Councilmember Fish,
Yes.
Mayor Lee,
Yes.
Councilmember Trailer,
Yes.
Councilmember Collins,
Yes.
ordinance 997.
Motion carries. 997. Thank you.
All right, next item, an annexation. Very exciting. So this is an annexation for a piece of property located at the southeast corner of 215th Street and US 54. The applicant has submitted a petition for annexation from the landowner, Rebecca Dugan, again for this parcel southeast of that intersection. This petition is for roughly 26 acres, and this is for a industrial development pending rezoning. And so the first step is to take the annexation request, which is included in the agenda packet for your review. And then just as a caveat to make sure everyone is aware that the landowner has stated that in the event the buyers fail to acquire the land, she would humbly request the city council to consider de-annexation in the future if the sale again falls through. So here is a map showing the parcel highlighted in blue. So this is on the western edge of town. To the west of this you have the Dillon's Distribution Center. Again, south of US 54 and east of 215th Street. Financial, there's a small cost of publication, legal approved form. And again, the recommendation is a waiving of the reading of the annexation ordinance and then approving the annexation request. And then after the annexation is approved, should you approve this evening, the next step will be to do the rezoning, which will go first before the Planning Commission and then to you as City Council.
I make a motion to waive the reading of the ordinance.
Second.
Chris has made a motion. Brenda second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the petition for annexation.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Hull,
Yes.
Councilmember Fish,
Yes.
Mayor Lee,
Yes.
Councilmember Trailer,
Yes.
Councilmember Collins?
Yes.
Ordinance 998.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 5.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, it's my pleasure to bring you this item of new business. It's the resolution in support of the preservation of tax-exempt municipal financing. So, if you remember back in 2017, during President Trump's first term, the federal administration, along with the support of Congress, passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Some very important pieces of that legislation are set to expire at the end of 2025, potentially increasing marginal tax rates on ordinary incomes back to their pre-2017 levels. And it is an ambition of the federal government and the administration to find some ways to cut costs and increase revenue streams so they can extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts. One of the items they're looking at is taking away a benefit that's been around for many decades as it relates to tax exemption on municipal financing. So, as you guys know, because in Goddard we issue a lot of special assessment debt for our growing community. Municipal bonds are a cornerstone of public finance. It's not used only by cities but also state government as well. Helps us fund our vital infrastructure projects, our roads, schools, even hospital districts, and our water system. So the interest earned on the bonds has historically been exempt, as I mentioned. So this policy has been in place for a very, very long time. The tax exemption significantly reduces borrowing costs for municipalities, allowing governments to invest in infrastructure more efficiently and affordably. So there has been some conversation amongst Congress suggesting that we reduce or eliminate the tax exemption on municipal bond interest. This would create some real fundamental impacts on the cost for public infrastructure costs. And so we are asking that you consider this evening adopting a resolution of support that we can send to our federal legislators to just let them know that this would have a great impact on our community. The Kansas Governor's Finance Officers Association, as long as the national charter, are well on this, having lots of conversations, trying to just continue to impart the importance. The economic impact that this could be potentially catastrophic for state and local governments. So it's something that we need to keep our eye on. It could cost an estimated $800 billion in additional interest expense over the next decade for state and local governments in the United States. So we put the resolution in the agenda packet there, and if you guys were to adopt this evening, we would simply send it off to those federal legislators that will be having discussions about this, one such being on the Ways and Means Committee that will be working this specifically. So we've had conversations with our federal legislators that are in the state of Kansas already, so they are well aware of our position on this issue and working diligently to try to find some other options to help extend this really important piece of federal legislation that's helped make life a little more affordable for all of us. So with that, Mayor, I'd take any questions or comments. I know our bond counsel, Kevin Cowan, could speak to this matter further as well.
Questions? All right, quiet group. When banks and people that buy our bonds buy them at a lower rate, they receive a tax credit. Isn't that kind of the deal? Which allows the interest rate to be low. We give a lower interest rate, and they get a tax credit for that. So that's what they're trying to eliminate. And when that's eliminated, then we would have to pay a higher rate of interest on our bonds for them to buy them at the same rate.
Yeah. Good evening, Kevin Cowan, bond counsel. Technically not a tax credit, it's just not taxable income.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to take 3% as an investor and not pay taxes on it, they would say, well, if we have to pay taxes on it, maybe it's 5%.
Tax
So,
equivalent.
right. The way you can look at it, it's sort of not a tax on them because their yield is going to be the same. 3% and not pay any taxes on it, 5% pay some taxes, and they're yield is still 3%, that the tax flows through. One argument can be made, one theory, it flows through to local government. You're the ones that will pay the 5% interest, so they can take 2% of it and pay taxes and still get their 3% net return. So that's
the end.
yeah, that's why it's important at the local level.
Wasting everybody's time with that. We'll move on, I guess. Nobody else has any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to recommend the resolution.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution attached in Exhibit A in support of the preservation of tax exempt financing.
Second.
Chris has made the motion. Keaton seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Item J. City Administrator's Report. Welcome back.
Thank you. Just, my seat was getting warm, so I'm glad I could come back up here.
Just
So,
switch your legs.
just a few updates on the city operations, projects, future agenda items. One of the challenges from the governing body, and maybe this was self-solicited from staff some, but we wanted to make sure that you guys felt real ownership and accountability in the fiscal year 2026 budget. We've got a new CFO. We're working in some new department heads. We are, taking on some really, really big initiatives that are years old that, quite frankly, we're a little behind on. So, because of some of the changes that are occurring financially, we feel like it's really important to have you guys a part of a more thorough budget workshop and budget development process for fiscal year 2026. So I wanted to start including the off-schedule meetings, if you want to call them that, for the budget workshops. You can see those with the stars next to them. So we'll have plenty of them coming up in June and July. Our Chief Financial Officer, Brooke Carroll, is well ahead in budgetary preparations. I would imagine we will have a draft of the 2026 budget in just the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, and then we'll just continue kind of chiseling on it within the margins over the next 2 to 3 months to get it into a place that the governing body's proud of and ready to adopt. And it's kind of interesting that our process works that way. We're planning for 2026 budget when we're only 4 months through 2025. A lot can change between now and the end of the year. We'll do our best that we can to estimate what next year looks like. Monument sign project, so US 54 and 167, we should see that sign go in, I would hope, in the next couple months. It's now in fabrication since we got the land use thing sorted out for the one there along Kellogg. It'll be 30 feet wide, 30 feet tall, so you'll be able to see it when you're heading into Goddard from West Wichita there on the north side of the US 54 highway, just west of 167th Street. We're going to continue chipping away at the one at 167th and Maple. 183rd turn lane, so we're looking at a change order to do about an additional 400 square yards of concrete. We had thought that as a part of the original scope of work that they were going to replace the surfacing there on the south side of US 54. However, the design was not updated from back when it was first originated 5-6 years ago. So luckily we're well under the KDOT maximum contribution of $1 million, and they were so willing to keep the project open so we can go in there on the south side and replace the rest of that concrete there just to the south of US 54. If you've driven through that, there's some pretty significant cracks and stuff that are rough on vehicles, and it just makes sense to get that fixed while we've already been in the area. It would not shut down traffic the way that the initial phases of the project were to occur. It should just be on the south side there. We should still see the north side open. And they say about 4 weeks, but really the contractor thinks they can get it done in 2. And they got done with everything else about half the time that they were allowed. So really impressed with Prado Construction's work on that one. The Ad Hoc Water Committee tonight, they held their community workshop over at the Community Center on May 19th. The committee will present its recommendations to council at the regularly scheduled council meeting, and then we have the Ad Hoc Water Committee celebration lunch May 30th, beginning at noon at the Sandbox. We've invited some of our legislative colleagues at the state and federal level, county level as well. Super excited to have an opportunity to celebrate the work of the committee, the 8 months of their time, free time that they dedicated, time away from their families to come serve, for nothing more than the intrinsic value that they get for helping lift our community up and work on this important issue. So we're super excited to celebrate them. Much anticipated pool and splash pad startup. I'm told the pool will be up Memorial Weekend. I'm not sure if that's Saturday or Monday yet, so I'll have an update to you guys on the 19th about that, and we'll know before the 19th, so we'll get some information out on our social pages on the exact first day of the pool. And then the splash pad will be debuting at the Mother's Day Main Street Market, which I'm sure Vice Mayor Fish would be able to share more with you about during governing body comments. Goddard Pool and Means Park Drainage Project. Super proud of the work of my colleague, our city planner Tina Powell, and our city engineer Harlan Foraker. We were able to get that project completed, $12,000 under budget. Excellent news. We still have a few culverts to get installed. That should be done this week at any rate. Will be done by the time the pool opens. If there were some kind of unforeseen circumstance like a deluge or something, the important news is the work that would conflict with the pool operation is complete. These culverts are going in on the north side of South Street, excuse me. North Park, we're interviewing some finalist firms, and we'll be making a recommendation to City Council for a contract award during the Monday, May 19th council meeting. More information on that at the link. Salt storage facility, pending site plan approval. The building will be delivered and installed. Main Street Market, I'll save that one for the Vice Mayor. Looks like I didn't finish my report here. I ran out of time before going to the Water Committee meeting, so my apologies. The Public Works Director hiring process, we will be completing interviews with our semi-finalists next week, I believe. So should have a decision coming up here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We are informing candidates whether or not they're receiving an interview today and tomorrow. So, upcoming agenda items, we got a slate of different things coming along there. I'll just leave you with those. And with that, I'd be glad to take any questions or comments from the dais.
Questions, any questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate your support.
Governing body comments, and then executive session.
Okay. Thanks for the report, Craig. A lot of things are happening. I drove by the pools last week and it looked great, and there's a lot happening with our public works, so it's kind of nice to see all of them working around town. So yeah, a lot of things happening. Excited.
Way down the line.
Yep.
Sorry, don't worry about that. Yeah, so Mother's Day, this Sunday, we got a Main Street Market. We're really excited to celebrate moms. 2 to 5 right there on Main Street. Second Sunday of every month, so it'll be a lot of fun. We got a lot of special things planned, so excited to get to do that. Kind of like these quick meetings. It helps if I show up halfway through. So I apologize for my tardiness today. I'm a stay-at-home dad, except like twice a month I work a shift over at Discount Tire just so I can feel like a man.
You don't explain.
A couple times a month I need to do something other than play with kids, so I did that all day. I'm going to stop talking now.
Ready. Yes, sir. Next.
You want me to go next?
Yes, sir. Unless somebody wants to jump in front of you.
Well, you mentioned that pool. I haven't seen it, but what it is, 183rd is really nice. And it's really nice to see everybody on those new sidewalks on Kellogg. Really nice to see that. But that's all I have.
All right, we're good.
I'll touch on everything I want to say. I apologize for my tardiness as well. It's Keaton's fault.
He was holding you down, wasn't he?
Yeah. And Mr. Mom, if you're looking for a job, I'm hiring.
Was he fixing your tire?
I'm hiring.
Briefly, I just want to thank the Water Ad Hoc Committee and all the work that they've done, working on our water issues. Looking forward to their presentation to the council. And good days are ahead as it relates to water. A lot of great things happening there. Appreciate staff's work on 3rd Street. 1 foot at a time or 12 foot at a time. I hauled those pipes on, but making progress. Really the work done around the pool was really well done, and it's nice to see something coming in under budget. And we'll hopefully we'll get some rain here, and we'll test out the drainage. So I think the last time we had rain, it really drained really well. So anyway, that's all my comments. Anything else anybody wants to say before we someone makes a motion to move into executive session? Move to slide out. There you go. I like you reading that, so.
Thanks. I make a motion to move to enter into executive session for consultation with the city attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship per KSA 75-4319B2 to receive advice regarding the Willows Ridge Development Agreement, including the city administrator and city attorney, with the regular meeting reopening at 8:20 with a 4-minute break. That's easier now.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second, all those favors say aye.
Aye.
We'll be back at 8:20. Okay, we're gonna enter back into public session and we're going to make a motion to extend, and you wanna make a motion to extend?
Yeah, I make a motion to extend the executive session for another 20 minutes, so we will reconvene at 8:40.
We have a motion to
Second.
extend, we have a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're back in open session. We'll let the record show that there was no action taken during our 2 executive sessions, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn this evening.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Chris second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.